Hi guys, welcome to a new video on Mealworms EU. We have the same bin as last week, if you can see, but some changes have been made. We put in a lot of carrots. You still see a few cucumbers. Those are not the cucumbers of last week, but those I put in like 2 days or 3 days ago. If you can look down here, some beetles have arrived, and the beetle is really enjoying the cucumber. If you look very closely, you will see 2 black beetles and a brown one that's on top of some pupae. And the light brown one is not a female or a male. That's not the difference. The difference is that once they get out of the pupae, to say it like that, they will have the color of the pupae, which you can see one right here. The pupae are a little bit lighter of color than the mealworms itself, and I first took out all the beetles, but we had so many pupae that we just keep them in because a lot of beetles have arrived. I just recently placed these carrots in. If you can look at the beetles, they really like to enjoy them. This is a beetle that has just changed. It's a little bit darker of colors, but you can still see like the excess skin. I'm not really sure if this beetle will develop the right way, because I think his wing is also a sort of wing, more like a piece of exoskeleton. They do have wings, but they do not fly. I don't really know how that has happened, or but I know that I don't fly, and that's one of the reasons that I breed them, because it's easy. Let's say it's a starter's animal. If we can have a look, you see another one. Also, it's still some excess skin onto it, and it's really hard to tell if it's a male or a female. I looked it up online, but I could not find really much about it. But for a lot of beetle types, you will have to really pull them apart to see the organs, and also the sexual organs. So I'm not going to do that, of course. So we have a lot of beetles right now, and I'll zoom out a little bit. And here's you see 2 really light beetles, almost if they're from another species. I'm a little bit shaky with my hands, I'm sorry for that. It's a little bit chilly. And what I found really interesting in this corner, now you can already see a lot of beetles that are hanging out together. But it looked like this without the black beetles in the right corner, and it was really like a big pile of mealworms. And I gently removed some of them to put down the carrot on the right, and like 20 black beetles came up. So we're really getting a lot of beetles, so I hope I will get a lot of small mealworms in a couple of weeks. Some things go faster than I expected, some things go slower than I expected. I did not expect to receive so many beetles in such a short amount of time, so I'm happy with that. But I do hope that that they have the right circumstances to lay down some small mealworms, larvae, or how do you want to call them? A mealworm is how we call them. In Dutch we say mealworm. But the funny thing is, a mealworm or a mealworm is not really a worm, it's a larvae. It's a larvae because of course it turns into a pupae, and the pupae turns into a beetle. I don't know why they are called mealworms, but yeah, someone named them a long time ago, I guess. If we go look to the left, I've put like some sort of food extravaganza for them down. I did it for two reasons. One, because I had a lot of carrots that are due. And the second thing is I wanted to create a sort of big food corner. And this way, the beetles will also climb a bit more, if you can see right here. I've noticed that a lot of beetles will climb on them and eat some of it. And so it's also nice because then I can see how many beetles we really have. This is just an easy setup. You can still see some of the oatmeal. I'm going to put in Brinta. That's oatmeal flakes, but really, really small, with a lot of fibers. I will put it in the afternoon, I think, or maybe tomorrow. But because if you look here, you see a lot of the oatmeal flakes are still there. But if you go to this side where more of the mealworms are, you can see that only almost flour is left. This could be just a trick of the eye, but I do believe that they eat it, and they eat quite a lot of it. If we go look over here, yeah, this is definitely a really recent beetle. Still doesn't have the movement of the other beetles. And a funny thing is that some beetles are quite large immediately when they turned, to say it like that. And I also had one that was like really tiny. I think these beetles are around 8 millimeters, between 5 or 6 to 8 millimeters. And for American viewers, like other viewers that used Imperial System, it's a 1/4 inch. And I also had one that was like 3 millimeters, so like 1/10 of an inch. Yeah, I don't think that he will survive really long, because it's just really, really small, and I haven't had a small beetle like that, so I don't think he can breed with the other beetles, so he will not have a lot of chances. But hey, that's life. You can also see a few, see the black things, fewer beetles that are just using their skin. But if you can look at this one, you see a few pupae, and you see one dead mealworm. That happens. You can get them out of there. I usually don't, only if I clean the whole bin, but I do every 2 weeks. I usually leave them in because most of the time they're also, yeah, just more food. And I read online that the beetles, if they want to fornicate, they or breed. I don't know how you really want to say it. It doesn't really matter. Then they like the taste of a lot of food, but also the taste of meat. And most of the time, that means a mealworm. So I don't really mind it. It's natural causes, and every beetle. I'll zoom in a little bit here. Every beetle can get around 400 small larvae that they can put down. Well, of course, don't expect, if you have a pregnant beetle, that it will lay down 400 of them and that you will receive 400 of these mealworms. A lot of them will die, a lot of them will be eaten up. But what I say, this is really test bins. This is one of the setups. I will briefly, maybe today, but maybe later, I will show you a different kind of setup. This is a mealworm setup without really much interference. They stand into the shade and they stand inside, but in the shade, like they don't have a lot of light. Every day I will give them also some time into the light. But except feeding and cleaning the bin, I do not tamper really with them. Because I really want to see how the beetles will develop in this bin. I also have another setup, and those were my first beetles, and I only have beetles in that bin. Yeah, and one mealworm that lives there, but I don't know for how long. And yeah, there's some funny things about the other bin, but I will say thanks for watching, and you will see in the other vid what I mean. Have a nice day, and as always, see you later.